Hi guys, so today we're doing another kind of battle with the Beauty Blender. Now, I think everybody's familiar with the Beauty Blender, costs about £16, amazing, but really expensive for something you have to replace quite regularly. Today's competitor is the Makeup Gallery sponge from Poundland. So this is like a 16th of the price. So I've done one side of my makeup with one and one side of makeup with the other today, and I'm going to insert that footage now, and I apologise in advance if my voice sounds a bit messed up. I've been sick with a respiratory infection for the last week, nearly, and it's only just about clearing up just now. But here's the footage of me doing my makeup. Okay, so I've actually got two mixed up lots of foundation today. Because I remember the last time I done a versus the Beauty Blender, the other one seemed to drink up a lot of foundation. So I just wanted to have two side by side so we can see whether this does that. Now, it doesn't say anything on the packaging about wetting the Makeup Gallery sponge, but we're going to do it anyway. My Beauty Blender's still a little bit damp. I actually cleaned it yesterday. I was hoping it would shrink down a bit more, but we'll re-dampen it anyway. And to be honest, this one looks very, very dense, almost the same as the unicorn sponge, so I'm not expecting it to grow a huge amount, but we'll see anyway. So popping them both in. And yeah, much the same as the unicorn sponge, if you squeeze it, it will absorb water, but the air comes out in really, really tiny, dense bubbles. So it's definitely a denser material than the Beauty Blender. So let's get these squeezed out. And I left my towel out of reach like a really smart person. Right. So you can see how much water is going to come out of this actually. Let's try and... So it does soak up quite a lot of water. So there is definitely room in there. So yeah. So I'm going to do the right side of my face with the Beauty Blender and the left side with the Makeup Gallery, which feels much heftier than the Beauty Blender. It's got a bit of a flatter bottom as well. But let's see how we go. So, dunk my Beauty Blender in. Whoops. Now, the reason I haven't been using my Urban Decay foundation for this, because that's my custom cover drops and the One Heck of a Blot primer, is that I haven't actually used that with the Beauty Blender yet. So I wanted to use something that I was kind of familiar with how it works with the Beauty Blender. So, just like I remember it, all smooth, all pigmented and just going on, no bother. My skin is a nightmare because I've been sick, but other than that, we're good. See, now I'm the same colour as my body on half of my face, so that's always good. And you can see kind of what foundation we have left. So it has used up most of it, but there is a little squidge left. So taking the Makeup Gallery sponge, and I'm just going to dunk it into that. Now it does seem to be sitting on the surface, which is a good thing I guess in terms of whether it's going to drink my foundation. But let's see how it goes. Now this definitely feels denser hitting my face, like a lot, and it actually does seem to have soaked up quite a lot of product now. Okay, now it has applied my foundation, but it seems to be a much lighter coverage than the Beauty Blender gave me. Which is, it's not a bad thing, it's personal taste, but I still have quite a bit of foundation left, so let's just see if we can build it up with this sponge. So I don't really want to walk out with a wonky face, do I? Or film any other videos with a wonky face. Which, to be honest, is all I'm doing today anyway, so. Okay, that's better. Let's zoom out again. Okay, so I've used, slightly more of the foundation, but not a huge amount. And is this actually still giving any coverage? Yeah, there's still a bit of foundation transferring out of this. So while it absorbs the product, it gives you it back, mostly. So that's always good to know. So next, let's go for the under eyes. As ever, I've got my Kiko corrector because I just love this. I love that it's a liquidy consistency rather than, the solid in a pot. I feel like it's going to tug at your under eye less. I have now taken the little stopper out of this because it was getting low. So again, right side beauty blender. Nice and familiar that it blends out, no surprises. It's got that nice little corner that fits right in here really easily, and I never worry about poking myself in the eye. Now this guy is a bit fatter at this end, so we'll see how it goes. I think they look pretty comparable actually. Potentially a little bit better on this side. So next I'm going to go in with my liquidy concealer. I'm using the Barry M Light Reflecting Concealer for my under eye. I'm trying to stop using the Kevin Aquan one under there because I feel like it's possibly a little bit too thick. But still sometimes on really bad days I'll put that on because it's mega coverage. Okay, so far I would say these are basically performing the same when it comes to concealer, which I'm quite chuffed about. So I do have my Kevin Aquan concealer, just to see how it works with like a bit of a thicker consistency. So let's zoom in and find something to test on, which, because I've been sick, is not going to be difficult at all. Here's some, let's go. So I had the habit of just dipping the very tip of my beauty blender into that concealer. And tapping it. Because the point was great for applying and then you can blend it out with the rest of it as well. And if your concealer doesn't quite match you can go back in then as foundation in and it'll blend it back in. So that worked fine. I'm fine with that. So I'm going to do the same with the other one. Just dip the very tip in. And, now this I will say is a little bit harder to get in the corner around my nose, which is somewhere I do normally put concealer. But that's just because of the size of it. So kind of saw that coming if I'm honest. Again, I'm totally fine with the job that that's done. And just because I really feel like I need to cover this today. Let's get that one done. My under eyes are awful just now. That's just because I've been sick and I don't want to layer on hundreds of concealer because this will look fine from a distance, which is where everyone's going to see me from today. So last thing to test is baking, which will also brighten up my under eye somewhat. So I've got my Illamasqua loose powder, as always, tip some out into the lid, Whoop, focus camera, focus. Get my beauty blender, dab that in there, get that pressed right into my under eye, and I also press it on my forehead because that's a nice greasy bit for me, as is this corner of my nose. Around here in my mouth, I basically bake as much of my face as I can get away with because I have super oily skin, and then I do my cheekbone highlight area as well. I do normally do the bridge of my nose, but I'm going to try and get it more on the side so that I can do, again, one of each. So, same thing with the Makeup Gallery sponge. So it seems to deposit slightly less powder, which, I don't know why that would be really. Part of me thinks this is damper because it's denser, like it's held on to the water a bit more, and that possibly is making the powder stick to this a bit more rather than transfer onto the skin. But overall it's still working. Until I get to this corner that doesn't want to work at all. Let's see if a little bit more powder is going to help. Yeah, this definitely still feels wetter. So that's going to be interesting when it comes to dusting that off, actually, whether it's still dusty enough. I'm going to go and get changed and come back, give this time to set, and we will try dusting it off and see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see, for £1, this done remarkably well. Now realising that I've tried to put it back in its packaging, it's definitely grown a lot having been in the water. So as you saw, foundation wise, I did have to go back, but I'm not sure if it just didn't pick up as much in the first place because I'd made those piles of foundation relatively similar sized. So yeah, overall I'm very impressed with this. Does it feel the same as the Beauty Blender? No. It's actually a bit bouncier almost because it's denser, but it's dense without being hard. I mean, look how squishy this is. Like okay, so definitely I would say this is definitely a good buy. If you're near a pound shop, you see one of these, grab it, give it a go. It's £1, and as you can see, for blending out foundation, it looks the same, I think, on both sides of my face. Concealer looked the same on both sides of my face. Bake, okay, I had a little bit more difficulty with the bake, but it still ultimately worked the exact same. And you know, maybe it would be a good thing for me to try and use less powder on my face. But yeah, overall, I don't think you can knock this at all. And lots of people kind of would like the fact that it's a paler colour, so you can see properly when you're cleaning it. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a repurchase for me. I'm definitely going to get one to put in the 500 subscriber giveaway, which should be happening soon, because we're at 490 just now, so in theory that could be happening next week, maybe? Who knows? We need to see who else comes along to join. But that's all I really have to say about this product. I think it spoke for itself in the application section basically. But if you do have any other questions, please leave those down below and I will get back to you. And if not, just have a wonderful week and I will see you later. Bye!